Alright, I have never made a video blog before, and I don't intend to make a habit of this, but my name is Anna. I'm 22 years old, and I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'd like to address the current protests that are going on in response to Governor Scott Walker's proposed budget plan for the next fiscal year. I don't believe that the national news cycles have been doing a very good job of covering this, and so I'd like to just kind of set the record straight. And from the perspective of someone who's been on the front line, I've actually been out at the protests for the past 4 days. Now, one thing that the news has been reporting on, especially on CNN, one of the places I've really seen, is that people are concerned about cuts to their benefits, their pension, and their health care, and having to pay a higher percentage of that out of their paychecks. This is a concern for people because we don't have a lot of money right now. However, this is not the main concern that's being protested right now. What's being protested is a part of the bill that would limit the collective bargaining rights of unions on behalf of their public employees. So we're talking teachers, snowplow drivers, bus drivers, nurses, librarians, sewage workers. I can't name them all, but everyone who is a public employee, apart from the firefighters, the state troopers, and the police officers, who are all exempt from this bill, but who are all also coming out to protest in solidarity, which I would love to give them credit for at this point in time. You guys are amazing. Now, collective bargaining gives unions the right to negotiate on the behalf of these workers, and what the bill would do is limit that negotiation to salaries only. This means that if someone is being mistreated in the workplace, if the workplace was unsafe, or someone's safety is being threatened, or benefits needed to be negotiated, the union would not have the power to negotiate that. Individuals would supposedly have the power to negotiate that, but the union gives those individuals a voice, and no one's going to listen to someone saying, hey, you accused me of something that I didn't do, if there's not someone to advocate for them. So this is a major problem, and there's a lot of people in the private sector already who don't have unions and who aren't allowed to unionize because their employers would fire them if they did. So really what we should be focusing on here is unionizing everyone as opposed to taking away the unions of the public workers. Unions are not perfect, and I am not going to claim that they always operate with their members' best interests at heart. However, I do think that as a system, trying to shut it down would be catastrophic and would decimate the working class. So this is a major issue here that people are protesting, and that is really what people are bonding together about. And this is a huge mix of demographics. This isn't just one group or another. There are Democrats, there are Republicans, there's veterans, there's adults, there's teens, there's little children, there's parents, public workers, private workers. Everyone is coming out. We had 40,000 people at the protest today. There were 30,000 yesterday. The numbers keep growing day by day, and people are busting in from all over the state and all over the country as well, because this is an issue that's spreading to other states, and that's really going to affect the entire nation. So this isn't about a specific budget bill. This is about the precedent that will be set by busting up the unions in one state and what will happen to the rest of the workers in the public and the private sector in states across the nation. So that's really the issue that's at stake here. Now, for the people in the private sector who don't think this bill will affect them, the basic concept of economics is that people who don't have money can't spend money. So if you rely on customers in order to create revenue and maintain wages and benefits and things like that in your business, you're not going to have that if the people who normally shop with you or patronize your business don't have the money to spend on it. So it really is going to be affecting everyone, and it's going to be setting a precedent that could take its toll on both private and public sectors. Now, there's a statement that we have a $137 million deficit in Wisconsin that it needs to be dealt with, which is why this budget is here in the first place. When Scott Walker entered office, there was a $121.4 million surplus, according to a report filed by the Legislative Fiscal Bureau on January 31st of this year. And that was saying that at the end of this fiscal year, we would have that surplus, and we would not have a deficit whatsoever. And I will link you to that report in the information bar of this video so that you can see where I'm getting these numbers from. Now, when Scott Walker entered office, he pushed through legislation that gave $140 million to special interest groups, which means corporations in Wisconsin, which is where the deficit is coming from, because we didn't have the money to give for that. And so now the burden is falling onto the shoulders of the working class, and the money is going towards the corporations and the richest 2%, which is where the problem in this country has been lying when it comes to economics in the past 2 decades, really. So that's really the main issue at stake here. He's claiming that we don't have the money, that these cuts need to be made, and that the unions can't function in the state as it lies right now. First of all, collective bargaining has absolutely nothing to do with budgeting, so it really shouldn't be attached to this bill. Second of all, if that report is true, and it was filed by a nonpartisan committee, so this is not Democrats or Republicans, this is completely separate, then the issue is really that the spending that he pushed forward needs to be repealed in order for the burden not to fall onto the people who don't have the money to pay for it. So this is really an issue of public workers and private workers bonding together, of people of all ages and demographics. It should also be noted that students are not being hurt by their teachers going on strike. The students actually bonded together and walked out of school before the teachers even went on strike to begin with. On Tuesday, Madison East High School had 700 students, or more than 700 students, which is half the school, walk out and march 3.5 miles up to the Capitol of their own accord, a student-organized protest of the treatment, because they know that an unsafe workplace for their teachers is an unsafe learning place for them, and that anything that happens here will affect their future and their education and their jobs to come. So the students are very aware of what's going on, and this is absolutely something that affects everyone in Wisconsin and across the nation. And every day since then, students have been meeting at their own schools and marching to the Capitol, even though they have the day off school and they could potentially be spending the day home watching TV or playing video games. So this is really a huge rallying of everyone from all different backgrounds, and it's amazing to see. If you're anywhere in the area, you should come down. And I really encourage you to pass this video on to anyone who you think might be interested or who you think needs to hear this information, just because I really think that we need to get some positive coverage, and we need to get some accurate coverage of what's going on here. And I fully encourage you to make your own videos of your own opinions, because obviously this is just my opinion of what's happening here. But I really think we need to get the word out of what's really going on here and hear all sides of the story. So please pass this on, make video responses, and tell the news to cover this in a way that actually portrays what's going on, because this is a major issue and it's going to spread to the entire United States, and we really have a chance to make a change here. All right, so thank you for listening, and I hope that we can bring down this bill and make this a safe environment for all workers. All right, thank you.